All right, everybody, welcome back to the Aptitude Outdoors Podcast. Today, I'm talking about how you can get in shape for hunting and fishing.
This is the Aptitude Outdoors Podcast, where we interview conservationists, hunters, anglers, and outdoorsmen and women to bring you the greatest stories, information, and advice from the best in the world.
So every time you step out in the woods or on the fishing boat or wading in the river, whatever you're doing, you're putting demands on your body. So I decided quite a few years ago that I was tired of feeling like crap all the time, so it was time to get in shape. I'm not a fitness influencer. I'm not a model, obviously. I am here to tell you what's worked for me and how it can work for you, because it's not that complicated. People tend to make staying in shape this big, mysterious thing. And frankly, it's all bullshit. It's a pretty simple standard. So the whole point of this is to stay in shape so that you can hunt and fish for a long time. It's not about right now. It's not about tomorrow. It's about when you're 65 and you still want to go out to your tree stand, or you still want to get in the boat and be able to cast, wade in the river. That's what this is all about. It's about forward thinking, not worrying about the immediate future. So the main advantage of getting in shape to do this stuff is that you can do it more comfortably. You're still going to get winded, you're still going to get beat up, you're still going to get tired, but you're going to be able to do it for longer on the times you do get to go out in the field, which, as we all know, nowadays are fewer and further between. So when I work out year-round, I'm doing it so that I can hunt and fish year-round as well. And it makes it easier to climb up in the tree stand. It makes it easier to hike up that mountain, makes it easier to wade across that river, and you can do it for longer and longer periods of time. So this is for longevity, not immediacy, as I stated just a second ago. So the number one thing, we'll start with it because it's the worst by and far, is staying in cardiovascular shape. Nobody likes it. There's a few weirdos out there who enjoy running. I'm not one of them, okay? I do it because I know it's for the best. I do cardio 5 days a week. It's my least favorite thing to do, but I show up, get it done. And as I say, you should do hard stuff every single day because it makes you better. It makes challenges easier in the long term. And you don't always have to run. Running can be brutal, especially if your joints are giving you issues, especially your knees and stuff. Running isn't always the best option. When I do run, I prefer to do it in the woods, believe it or not, or on a trail, something that's not paved, a little more forgiving, because I do want my knees to last longer. So if I do run, it's trail running, but you can run anywhere, treadmill, whatever. If that's not an option for you, obviously, you can do things like stationary bikes, air bikes, rowers are awesome. I love rowing. I actually do enjoy rowing. I would much rather row than run. It still gets your heart rate up quite a bit, using a lot of muscles that you use for hunting as well and fishing, your shoulders, your back, your legs. It's all around good thing, strengthens your core. It's an awesome exercise. So don't forget about stuff like that. Anything to get your heart rate up, even doing burpees or stuff where you don't have a machine or you don't feel like running. Anything, mountain climbers, things of that nature, get your heart rate up. Super good, and it's going to let you outwork your buddies in the field easily. You'll be able to go way ahead of them. You'll be able to climb up the mountain further before getting tired, all that stuff. And it is probably the most important thing for what we do.
Wake up early before the sun comes up. Then you drink a little coffee, fire the gator tail up, then you hit it on out where no man goes.
And then obviously there's strength training, which most guys enjoy and a lot of women too. Strength training just makes it easier to do the stuff that sucks, like carrying your backpack or hunting. You know, sometimes we go really light, but if you're carrying tree stands or climbers or even saddles weigh a little bit, you're holding your gun, you're holding your bow, you're using a lot of muscle to get it out there. And especially having strong legs is the foundation. That's what's carrying you all over the place. So things like squats, things like, doing step ups, get a box, put a backpack on, get a big wooden box or a stool or something stable, step up on it with both legs, up and down, up and down. That's going to get your legs in shape. Also, just walking up and down stairs with a weighted backpack. Before I did any hunting or fishing, I did a through hike of the Appalachian Trail. I did so many hours on a stair stepper and stairs up and down with like 30 to 50 pounds in my backpack. Get those legs strengthened for going up and down. Save you a lot of pain and suffering when you're going out to your tree stand. The one time that you actually enjoy having to do that stuff. Also, strengthening your back. A lot of stuff for hunting and fishing, you're using your back. You're carrying stuff. When you're drawing your bow back, you're using your back and shoulders. You want to do rows. You want to do anything that's going to strengthen your back. Pull-ups, banded pull-ups, and then hunting and fishing all involve your shoulders a ton, whether you're lifting up something to carry it, whether you're putting a backpack on your shoulders. You want to have strong shoulders, and that doesn't mean they need to be huge, beefy shoulders. It means they need to have good strength in your like rotator cuff and stuff, like so you don't tear it, especially fly fishing, very repetitive casting over and over and over again. It really works on your rotator cuff, which I did a whole episode with a doctor about this. If that's something that concerns you, go back and watch it. But very simple exercises that you can do. Bands are the best for this. You can buy a kit of different resistance bands off of Amazon for very cheap. I have them here. I use them all the time. They are probably one of the best things you can do for your shoulders, and it covers basically every exercise. You can stand on them and you can push them over your head for presses. You can do side lateral raises with them. You can do front raises with them. You can even do pull with your back on them. If you set it upright, you can put them around doorknobs. Careful not to snap yourself in the back because that really hurts. All of that stuff is very important for strengthening your rotator cuff. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physical therapist. I just do what I've been taught. And that stuff is really helpful because those muscles help a lot, especially, I said, casting, pulling your bow back. You need to have strong shoulders. There's plenty of exercises you can look up online for strengthening your rotator cuff. Bands are also good for pretty much everything. Stretching. Another huge component that's overlooked, arguably more important than strength, I would say, is flexibility, mobility, things of that nature. Is something I neglected for many, many, many years. I thought it was stupid to stretch. A lot of the stuff you read for like bodybuilding and heavy powerlifting and stuff, it's like, stretching weakens your muscle and it doesn't allow you to lift as much and blah, 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 blah. I'm not an expert. I don't agree at all. I am constantly stretching. I'm stretching muscles I didn't even know that you could stretch anymore. And I feel so much better, especially in those long sits or those long days on a boat where you're not moving around that much. Stretching and mobility is awesome. And I focus, a lot of dudes have lower back problems. I focus on stretching my hamstrings. That really sets me up for a good day. Make sure my back doesn't get all tight. I like to stretch my shoulders a lot. I use a massage gun on my back. And if I don't have that, I use a lacrosse ball or some sort of ball to help with loosening up my back, because that also helps with your shoulder mobility. You will be surprised how stretching those couple little muscles will make you feel so much better. You ever just sit in the tree stand and stuff is just aching and feels like crap? Stretching will help with that a lot. Another thing I like to stretch, the outsides of my hips. They are always very tight, especially when you're up in like a saddle or a tree stand or sitting in a boat for a long time. Those things really help. There's plenty of stuff online as well to look up. Look up how to stretch your hips. Look up how to stretch your hamstrings. Look up how to stretch your shoulders, your back. All that stuff will set you up for a longer day and being much more comfortable, I promise. I neglected it for years and years and years, and now that I've been doing it, so helpful. I mean, David Goggins stretches for what he says, like 2 hours a day or something. It's really important for your body. I mean, we're all so used to being immobile and sitting and getting tight. We don't even realize it anymore. We've just been living this way for so long. Stretching, isn't it? I think that's like, I'm in Dallas, Page yoga is a thing now. And it's like all these macho dudes are talking about stretching. Helps a lot. Definitely worth doing. Another thing that we often don't think about, but is very important as well, is balance. Something simple like standing on one leg, freestanding on one leg. It's going to help you a lot. How many times are you walking through, when I'm hunting, I'm out in a field, walking through a field into the woods, uneven ground. I've rolled ankles, or you're hiking through the woods. Everything's uneven. You're stepping over stuff. Having better balance is going to set you up for those hikes. It's going to make them more comfortable. It's going to stabilize those joints in your body, like your knees, your feet, your ankles. All that stuff is helping you balance. Whether you know it or not, when you're walking, taking steps, it's helping you balance. So something as simple as literally being next to a wall, standing on one leg, switching legs back and forth. You have that wall there to help you in case you kind of lose balance a little bit. And then I upgraded once I got past that. It wasn't challenging anymore. I got one of those balance boards, not the kind that has the free floating thing under it where you can just like slip off and fall and die. It's basically a circular board with an uneven bottom like a ball. And I stand on that thing every single day for probably like 5 minutes. And it just helps you stay balanced. It helps your core balance. It helps your ankles and your knees. You can do stuff like trying to squat on that thing. That's really going to help you out. Balance is super important, often overlooked. And for what we do as outdoorsmen and women, super vital. Like wading in a river. I've fallen in the river so many times. You need awesome balance and you have forces pushing against you while you're walking through uneven terrain. It's pretty brutal. So balance always helps. And then the worst part, worse than cardio, worse than strength training, worse than balance and stretching, diet and exercise. Diet is probably the hardest. Diet is brutal. For a lot of people, we're so used to, especially here in the United States, getting fed and eating dog shit. I said it. It's terrible for you. I'm no freaking angel. I love Reese's peanut butter cups, okay? I'm not going to lie. That's like my downfall. And Christmas cookies. Right now, we're heading into Christmas. Brutal. But if you're doing like 90% of the time, 80% of the time, you're eating relatively healthy, you're going to do good. We don't all need to look like frickin' Mr. Olympia. We don't all need to have chiseled abs and stuff. The average person is never going to look like that, probably myself included. But eating right is not a myth. You know what you need to do. You've been told from the time you were born what you need to eat to be healthy. There's no pill, there's no magical sauce, there's no special crash diet that you do for a month and then give up on because it's too strict or too whatever. There's no secret sauce. I know this is the exact opposite of what you're told every day. That's called marketing and advertising. They're trying to sell you shit. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to make you a better person so that you can do this stuff for a long time. And I've done this all the hard way. I've tried the crash diets. I've tried the keto bullshit. I've tried low carb. I've tried, calorie restriction, all this stuff. Eat meat and vegetables and fruit. I'm telling you, that's it. You don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to do all this stuff. Meat, vegetables, fruit. If you can handle that, you will lose weight unless you take it to some wild extreme where you're eating like 5,000 calories a day. I eat meat, vegetables, fruit, and I don't even eat that much fruit because honestly, I don't really like it. That's it. Simple. Sweet potatoes, ton of sweet potatoes, broccoli, mixed vegetables, lean beef, chicken sometimes, deer, shitload of deer. It's a simple, I don't know how to say it any other way. You have to keep it simple. No, look at your sauces that you're putting on this stuff. Most of it's loaded with fat and sugar. Not going to help you. You're going to simple seasonings. I know there's so many companies out there that make seasonings that have 0 calories. I'm literally a simple dude. Onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, sometimes paprika. Pretty much tastes awesome on just about everything. You don't have to get crazy with it. Find what you like, make it. You can have barbecue sauce and ketchup and all this stuff. Just keep it to a minimum. That's the stuff that has the calories in it. It's the sugar. So you all know what you need to do. It's not rocket science. Tune out all the bullshit and do what you need to do. And it's not that hard. If you can do that 3 days a week, you're good. If it's hard for you to start, then make it 4, then make it 5, then make it 6. Give yourself a day to eat a couple freaking Reese's peanut butter cups and have a pizza. It's fine. You're not going to die. But if you're doing the right thing 85, 90% of the time, you're going to be in better shape. There is no doubt about it. There. That's my preaching for the day.
Hey, what's up, everyone? James Appleton here, co-founder of Absolute Aid. Welcome to the Seek to Do More program. This program will help you help yourself by developing the daily habits that will elevate your entire life. Over the next 30 days, you'll complete the doers list every single day. And the doers list includes 1, do something physical. 2, follow and stick to your diet of choice. 3, read a real book. 4, further your education on purpose. 5, dedicate time to your spiritual life. And 6, dedicate time to your hobbies. So if you're ready to take a structured, proven approach to build the daily habits that will allow you to get the most out of yourself, your time, and your life every single day, the Seek to Do More program is your blueprint. So make a choice, commit to yourself, sign up below, and let's get started.
I've found it, I've said this many times, I've talked to my friend James Appleton, 4646 podcast about this many times. You can go back and watch this ad nauseum. We've done so many episodes on this. Physical preparation sets you up for good mental preparation. Sitting in the woods is boring. Sitting in a fishing boat and not catching anything is boring. Nobody's going to deny that, and if they do, they're lying. You have to set yourself up to be tough mentally, and physically doing challenging stuff 5-7 days a week is going to set you up for that, I promise, because you're forcing yourself to do what your body's telling you it doesn't want to do all the time, which is by proxy just making your mind tougher. And it is so important for being out in the woods, especially you have to track a deer and it's dark and you know you're going to be out there for another 3-4 hours when you don't want to be. That takes mental toughness, man. When you're, trying to catch a fish and you have to, there's big fish down below you and they're just not taking it. And you have to change lures 50 times and you have to just sit there and try and try and try. That takes a lot of mental toughness, and that's kind of what separates the men from the boys. It will help with that, I promise. It just takes a lot of doing this over and over and making it a habit. The habit is what makes it easy. I go to the gym 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I don't care how I feel. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I don't want to go. Every day at the same time, I get in the car, I go there, I do what I need to do, and I come home, I win the day. That's it. I eat on a regular schedule, what I'm supposed to eat 5 to 6 days a week. And then I give myself a little time to screw off here and there. That's it. You don't have to make this complicated. So to sum it up, work hard, get in shape. You're going to be able to hunt and fish longer into your life if you do this now. Don't procrastinate it. You're not getting any younger. Even if you're 20, 30, 40, that shit sneaks up on you real quick. Everybody says when you hit 30, it starts going downhill. It's no joke, man. I'm nearing 40 and it's getting tougher. I'm getting tired. I'm slowing down, but I'm not giving up. So keep that in mind. Eat healthy. You know what you need to do, and you'll be set up to be able to do this shit for a really long time, because that's what we're all here for. We don't want to have to give up hunting when we're 60 because we let ourselves go and our knees are blown out and we can't hike to the stand anymore. Nobody wants that. Think about it for the future, not for right now. I hope you guys learned something. I will be back soon with another episode of the Aptitude Outdoors Podcast. Hey, thanks for listening to the Aptitude Outdoors Podcast. If you're getting anything out of this, if you're learning something, if it's helped you in any way, go down in the link below and buy me a coffee. Throw me $1, throw me $2. We greatly appreciate it. Just using it to keep this ship afloat. So thank you very much.